Whether you want dioramas or to play with trains in your pajamas. Woo! Tiny towns, big time dreams. Woo! Building up your wildest scenes. Flecsville has what you need. What you need. Every fun idea, every kid-sized dream. Flecsville has what you need. Yes, indeed. Come on down and build your world with me. Flecsville has what you need.
Hi and welcome to the video. My name's Dayton. I'm part of CollectorStash.com, the team here in North Wales that manufacture a wide range of things that are to do with modelling. Now today we're going to be looking at the railway side of it, but we do also cater for die-cast cars, Code 3 modelers and quite a lot of other stuff as well. But today let's concentrate on the railways. So having a look at what you've got in front of you, this is actually a three typical range of O, double O and N gauge, and that's what we do mostly. However, if you want things in a different gauge, get in touch. Gentleman did that just the other day and this is what we've made for him. This is one of our ranges of set of signs scaled up to gauge 1. Largest we've done so far is 5.5 inch, so you know, for you guys, get in touch as well. We can soon cater for you too. We like to make things to look as realistic as possible. So these are made of aluminium. It's nice and thin, just like the sheet metal that they were originally made out of would be. So they would have been sheet steel back in the day, but as that rusts, aluminium is much, much better as a material for us to use. It can be in your attic, in your shed, on your layout, wherever, and the risk of rusting is zero because aluminium does not rust. We like to be realistic, as I said, and this is actually a mock-up. This is a range that will be coming out shortly of wagon loads. Now this is real slate, so it's not real slate to the bottom, but what you see when it's in the wagon is real slate. Why? Well, what looks more like real slate than real slate? Simple as that. And a few other things like that will be coming out. We're working on some cable drums that actually have real cable on them, not just a picture, and that kind of thing. So keep an eye on our website. It's www.collectorstash.com. You might find something brilliant for you. If you don't want to do that, pop down your local model shop. There's quite a few that are starting to stock our ranges. If they're not, tell them to get in touch and do stock our ranges. It's pretty simple. For now though, we're going to have a look at this, which is the FVX-100. We're going to have a look at the O gauge kit because double O and N are a little bit small to see on camera, and we're going to put it together. This kit is brilliant for anybody who wants those particular signs on their layout, just to finish it off, that little bit of trim. However, it's not exactly an advanced kit. This is aimed squarely at the beginner market or somebody who's only got 5 or 10 minutes to make something, rather than a big complicated brass kit, which I'm a big fan of, by the way. I love making kits in brass. I do it as often as I can afford to. But not everybody out there is in that ilk. A lot of people just want something nice that looks the right part and gets on their layout, and that's what we make. One of our most popular sellers is this one, which is the GWR style. Particularly popular in O gauge for some reason, don't know why. Perhaps there's a lot of GWR O gauge fans out there. Okay, and this one includes things like catch points, all up, sound whistle, beware of trains. It's quite an extensive line side pack, but it's not just available in the 3 standard. This one we do quite a lot in 16mm. Now that 16mm is a little bit different. There's actually 3 or 4 cards in that one because the size of the signs, if you look at them, are significantly larger, and you know, it's an easy comparison. But we don't just do white signs and we don't just do black signs. We do pretty much any colour sign that we can get our hands on. So we do, for example, the regional signs for Southern in green. We do the deep maroony red of the BR Midland regional. We do the Eastern region, which is in the darker blue there, the Scotland region in the lighter blue, our local one, and a very popular one, possibly because it's our local one for us, we actually do the brown Western region, and then for the northeastern region we actually do the orange and the tangerine. So both were available, both were used in that region, so therefore we make both sets of signs. We really aim to try and allow you to make your model, your layout, whatever it is you're building, as authentic as possible, and to that we try and keep the materials as authentic as possible. So modern signs were mostly made of aluminium, so these signs are all made of aluminium. We obviously can't make signs that scale, and certainly not engage in cast iron, so as close as we can get is aluminium. So for the signage, that's what we use. There's a few other examples here that I'm just going to quickly go through. So there's a very popular one again in O, double O and N, and those are actually a set of speed signs. You get 12 signs, all with posts. Stainless steel, most cases. Sometimes we substitute in brass because of availability of materials, but mostly they come in stainless steel poles. And we have there the aluminium cutout speed signs, as you can see. But we don't just do them in white on black, because around about 1957, after an accident, British Rail decided that it would be better to have them in a bright yellow, so they showed up against snow. So we do those as well. So both options are fully available. It's going to depend on the age of the layout that you are doing. So really, there's a huge range here available. You can check our website. We're also on eBay, and there's links to our website and our eBay shop going to be put in below, so help yourself. If there's anything you want we don't do, we are able to do requests, just don't expect it delivered tomorrow. Obviously things take time to set up. Okay, but we're going to have a little bit of a more in-depth look now at the FVO-100, which is the whistle signs. Okay, so we're going to be having a look at the FVO-100. That's the O gauge version, of course. That's the one I showed you before. That's this one here. And we also have it identically available in double O and, of course, N. The N's perhaps a little bit more difficult on the camera there for you to see. So if we can bring it up, you should be able to see that you get the same set of signs as you do in the other two. What you actually get is 12 signs. There's two full word whistle signs. There's four SWs and 6 W signs. Now, they all come with stainless steel poles. At the moment, I think the double O gauge has actually got brass poles with it. But that will go back to stainless steel when those poles become available again. So you are more than likely to receive stainless steel, depending on how many orders go out. So looking at them, you can see that there's the full range there. Of course, doing this in 16mm is not a problem. If you want that, G gauge, not a problem. Any other gauge, gauge 1, etc. Just drop us a line, ask for it. You can contact us direct on email, and we can give you a price for that. Obviously, there's more material involved the bigger the scale, so the price does alter slightly. Okay, so I'm just going to whisk those away, and here's one I prepared earlier. So this is actually a full set that is out of the card packaging and just has the rest. So having a look at what's in here, when we open the bag, we get a few little items. First of all, we get the all-important whistle signs, and those whistle signs are all on an aluminium substrate. You can see in the back, if I get the light right, you'll be able to see they are cut through, but only just, so that it all holds together on the fret, but you can clearly see it's all cut on that side. You get 2 sets of bases, which look like this. These larger ones are for the full word whistle sign. The smaller round ones fit either the W or SW. To be honest, the pole size and the hole is the same, so you can use any of the bases you wish, whatever suits. You don't actually have to use the bases at all. You can just take the stainless steel poles here, attach them to the signage, and you could push those down into your scenery and have no base at all. So it either depends on whether you are doing an intricate layout and just want the poles, or whether you have a layout and you want a bit of signage on it but you don't have too much scenery, in which case you might want to use the bases. So we're kind of flexible in our options, and that's the point of Flecsville, yeah? We try and make things in a flexible manner so that you can do what you like with them. Everybody can individualize their work. So what we're going to be doing in a minute is basically taking this set, and I'm going to show you how to put it all together and how to customize it a little bit in order to make it look exactly as it should be. Okay, so to get started, I'm just going to move these items out of the way for a few minutes. Okay, so there's a few items that might come in handy for you. First of all is the old traditional trusty scissors. Of course, a craft knife. Either of those are good options for cutting the aluminium, where it's just hanging onto the fret, just for trimming and that kind of thing. You're going to need a ruler. I like to use a permanent marker for colouring. You don't have to. You can actually use a spot of paint if you prefer. Okay, and most importantly, they're not just for eyebrows, some nice tweezers. Okay, so let's have a look at what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to clear that away. So I'm going to start with the base here. These should push out fairly easy, and that's as simple as that. The bases are just done. There's nothing complicated or difficult about doing this. It's just give it a push. If it doesn't go, try pushing it in the opposite direction, and away she should come. In fact, sometimes if you're lucky, you'll find we've put a bit of tape on the back just to hold them in place, and they just come out with the tape. So it's as easy as that for the bases. The poles, it's actually designed to be an interference fit, so they just drop in nice and easy. Spot of glue in there if you want to, don't bother if you don't, and they should just sit happily all day long. Okay, so just going to move that out of the way now we've dealt with the really easy part, and we'll move on to the aluminium fret. Okay, so the aluminium fret is a little bit difficult. At times it's a little bit easy at others. It rather depends on how well it's cut and exactly how well I got it to just hold. So a little bit of flexing sometimes is enough to pop it out. The reason I've chosen these to look at is obviously the whistle words etc. are awkward shapes, so it's going to make it a lot more difficult to take out. So there are some aids that you can do. Now you can either take your craft knife and you can take it from a corner or an edge and just cut away at the fret a little bit, and that will allow the fret to release it a little easier. I personally prefer a pair of scissors, but you do have to be a little bit more careful. The best way of doing it with the scissors is you aim for a corner like so, and we just cut it very carefully, and that will just release the fret there, so we're free. And then I'm going to do the same in the corner here. Okay, so I've just zoomed the camera out a little bit so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. So this edge now has been cut down to the E, and we've cut all the way along there. You might need just to take in another set and just release everything nicely, and out it'll come. Now obviously this is a complex shape, so it's a little bit more difficult. If you over flex these, they will bend, so the best thing you can do is just be really careful with them and try and do them a little tiny bit at a time. So it might require multiple cuts, and it might require the use of a nice pair of tweezers just to get on an edge like that. I don't know about you, but my fingers are a bit thick and a bit chunky for anything else, and off it'll pop. Same goes here, should be. This could be a little bit more difficult because it's actually inside with the ease there. Oh, I've got a little bit of burr on there, so I'm just going to take that all the way up. Okay, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of a flex and see if it's loose enough. Oh, this one's hanging on pretty tight. It'll come. Okay, so my smaller tweezers now, I can get inside the E, just like this, and give it a little bit of a twist and a flex, and it should pop out. If it doesn't, as that one obviously doesn't seem to want to, that's when we get our craft knife. Just follow the edge down. and see how that goes. Now, it can take a little bit of time to just work these loose and work them out without damaging the sign, and that's fine. Gives you a chance to go hide in the shed a little bit longer. There we go. Here we go. It's just coming, but it's hanging on the end of that E. Out that one comes. And off that one comes. That just leaves us that little tip of an E there. And that one is going to be a little bit stubborn. I have a feeling that's what was holding it all the time. And there we go. So, I'm not going to take you through the rest of it, I'll just do it off camera. But the process is pretty much as simple as that, just working your way around quietly. Okay, now what we have is our 3 aluminium signs, and I'm just going to zoom in a little bit for you, and you can just see them there. Right, so on the real signs, sometimes they're white, sometimes they're yellow, sometimes they're even green, and you can colour them any way you like. But I'm going to leave mine white. However, the bottom runner here was always in black, regardless of what colour the lettering was. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take steel ruler, or any other straight edge, doesn't matter, whatever you've got. I'm going to place it over the top, and I'm just going to take permanent marker and just use it to colour it in. Nothing fancy, nothing brilliant, no expensive materials required. The coating on these will soak up this ink and it'll stay lovely looking for pretty much ever. You know, if it's still not looking lovely in 150 years, I'll give you your money back, you know. But, there we go. So there's our whistle sign looking a lot more authentic. I'm going to do the same for the SW sign. Okay, and we're going to have a look at the W sign as well. So obviously you've got a few more to colour in than this. I'm just doing one example of each, just so the video doesn't bore you to death and last for absolute ever. Okay, so there we have our 3 signs ready to go on their bases. So I'm just going to pause the video here because I'm going to give those 2 or 3 minutes just to dry. Okay, and then we're pretty much on to our last stage now. Those have dried, and we just need our poles, our bases, although the bases we won't be using for a few minutes. Nice pot of glue, and I like to apply it with cocktail sticks, and because the cocktail sticks have glue on, I just keep a handy chunk of, well, foam, I suppose you best described as, around. And we're just going to do the simple thing, and I'm going to bring in a bit of the fret that's left. I'm going to move a couple out of the way, and this is just to level the posts out, just because I like to have everything accurate and level as best as possible. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to just put a bit of glue onto the sign. Doesn't have to be a great deal, just a nice blob in the centre where the post is going. They'll just hold. Now this is going to take a couple of hours to dry, so obviously I'm turning the video off, and I'm just going to drop my pole in, get it as square as I can and leave it to set. And then I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to put this one over on this side, get myself a little bit of glue. There's no particular glue that you need to worry about, any super glue will do it. Oop, blimey, didn't want to do that. Bring it up, try and get it straight and in line like that. And I'm going to finally do the same with the W over here. Now, I am not the world's best at gluing things. I'd much prefer to solder or braze things together. So I'm sure there's some guys out there who are looking at me and go, why is he doing it like that? And I'm sure you can get some much better results than I can. Okay, so let's make sure everything's square. Like that, and we just walk away and leave that to dry for a couple of hours. So there we go, that's the 3 examples there. So in the kit you get 6 of these, 2 of these and 4 of these. They come supplied with 50mm nominally. It's not cut to exactly 50mm, it's a little bit over, of post, but you can cut those down as you wish to get the right heights for whatever your layout is. Now obviously there was no given specific height to these signs. It depends on the terrain, depends on where they were located, and they were all moved about. But you can see that it makes a lovely little job, and it's quite a simple little thing to actually build.